Yo guys, what is going on? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reminiscing upon the top 10 Fawlty Towers moments. And I say reminiscing because we've already seen every episode of Fawlty Towers. All of that is available on the Patreon. First link in description. I'd go to say it's one of the best shows we've watched on there. I thoroughly enjoyed every single episode, and upon joining you'll also get access to a bunch of other shows that I'm currently watching and have watched, including Derek, Blackadder, Father Ted, Friday Night Dinner, In-Betweeners, Peep Show, QI, and the UK Office. And yes, I did have to make a list because it's a lot of shows. Along with that, we also watch a new British movie every Friday. So please head on over there if you're interested in any of that. We have a great time, and I'm sure you won't regret it. Anyways, top 10 Fawlty Towers moments. There's so many different moments to pick from, so I'm curious to see what they include in this list. Don't Mention the War has to be on there. Maybe some of Major. I don't know. We'll get right into it. Hit the like button, guys. Hit subscribe. Like I said, if you want to get access to all that, first link in the description to join the Patreon. If not, completely okay. But let's get it.
Got a room? I beg your pardon?
Get ready for a stay at the Fawlty Towers Hotel, where the staff is courteous, but the manager is someone to steer clear of.
Well, I must be punished then, mustn't I? You're a naughty boy, Fawlty! Don't!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Fawlty Towers moments.
You snobs! You stupid, stuck-up, toffee-nosed, half-witted, upper-class piles of pots!
Number 10, the English Lord, A Touch of Class.
I
Would you
remember
put
that.
both your names, please? Well, would you give me a date?
I only use one.
You don't have a first name.
No, I'm Lord Melbury, so I simply sign Melbury.
Go away.
When a lord comes to visit his hotel, Basil Fawlty does all he can to make his stay perfect, including ignoring the other guests.
Would you mind moving to that table? Could I ask you, please, to move to that table over there? I'm so sorry to trouble you.
One such patron waits the entire episode for a drink that hilariously never comes,
A gin and orange, a lemon squash, and a scotch and water, please.
Certainly.
right up until the bitter end.
Well, thank you very much, Your Lordship. Yes, I'm just talking to Lord Melbury, dear.
And I remember that's what made that episode so memorable, is because when you were watching, you forgot that he had ordered the drink until the end.
A gin and orange, a lemon squash, and a scotch and water.
I do apologize.
Of course, the real comedy here is Basil's attempt to endear himself to the Lord, and he falls hard when he discovers Melbury was a con artist all along.
Well, how are you, Lord Melbury? How are you, then? All right, mate? How's me old bucker? Any valuables to deposit, Sir Richard? Any bricks or... I do apologize. You bastard!
Number 9, the hidden door, the builder.
I gotta say, I have to go back and rewatch Fawlty Towers at some point. It was so good.
Manuel Towers, how are you? It's nice today. Good. Goodbye.
Manuel is left to oversee a group of builders when Mr. and Mrs. Fawlty leave on holiday.
You men know what to do?
I think so. This is the dining room.
You are certain you know?
It looks pretty straightforward. We just got to block this one off.
Being the bumbling, non-speaking English sidekick character, Manuel is rarely in charge, as he mostly serves as a foil for Basil's abuse.
Shut up.
Eh?
Shut up.
Oh, si, shut up. Yes, I understand.
Well,
Yes.
will you please shut up?
Si, I shut up.
Now, while we're away...
Shut up.
Shut up!
Eh?
This time, however, he's attempting to communicate with the builders while taking calls from guests, both of which are hampered by his failure to master the English language.
You are a hideous orangutan.
Manuel, thank you very much.
Ultimately, Basil returns to find that the renovations have been cocked up, naturally.
Polly, what have you done with my hotel?
Number 8, the health inspection, Basil the rat.
Shall I get you the wine list?
In the final episode of the series, the future of the dysfunctional and subpar Fawlty Towers is threatened by a health inspection.
The health inspector's just been things wrong with hotel. We put them right by tomorrow.
In an attempt to make the place spotless, Basil forces Manuel to get rid of his pet rat.
No, it's hamster. Well, of course it's a rat. You have rats in Spain, don't you? Or did Franco have them all shot?
But it ends up scurrying about the hotel instead. In hot pursuit of the vermin, Basil ruffles under a guest's table and through her purse, which puts him into conflict with a furious husband.
No, you know something. You're getting my gander up, you grotty little man.
It's impossible not to laugh while watching the tall and imposing John Cleese trying to sneak around to save his own tails.
Bomb scare!
What?
There's been a bomb scare.
A bomb scare?
Yes.
Yes, that's why he was searching in your bag. He didn't want to alarm you. You see.
May I?
Well, I don't really.
Won't be. Just one moment. Thank you.
We had a call, you see.
Well, shouldn't you get everybody out?
Well, that's why we were looking under your table. We just didn't want to draw attention.
Number 7. The Lie, the Anniversary.
Well, can you remember the last time she did?
No, I can't, but then my memory isn't very good.
You can say that again.
Can I do it? Oh, thank you. I've forgotten what it was.
Basil has a bad track record for remembering anniversaries. So in the past, Sybil has had to remind him quite forcefully.
Does that stir any memories in you, Basil?
Memories?
Agincourt?
Yo, him and their relationship throughout this is just hilarious.
What? Anniversary of the Battle of Agincourt?
But this year, the grumpy hotel manager has something planned. However, he lets his wife stew in the certainty that he has once again forgotten.
Oh, Sybil! 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 No! Do you understand? I remember Sybil! There's a party, Sybil! Everybody, keep it over!
Things, of course, backfire, and she runs off right before the party guests arrive to help them celebrate.
Everything all right?
Bit of a bump. Just smoothing it out.
Instead of fessing up, Mr. Fawlty concocts some fiction about her being terribly sick. And as per usual, that quickly gets out of hand.
Sybil's not here, is she?
No.
There you are, you see. I told you so. I just saw her in the town.
What?
Number 6. Basil feels exposed, the psychiatrist.
No visitors in guests' rooms after 10 o'clock?
Oh.
Of the opposite sex.
A hotel owner that is a little too preoccupied with the business of his patrons, Basil becomes obsessed with proving that an unmarried man has snuck a woman into his room. In true Fawlty Towers tradition, this leads Basil to nothing but trouble.
This wall, we had some complaints from downstairs, so I'm just giving it a check. Okay? Yes, I think that's fine.
He uses a ladder to spy from the second story, only to accidentally catch a glimpse of a different couple, which is quite the surprise for our favorite hotelier. This situation isn't just awkward, it also causes his wife to think he's a pervert.
Off a ladder?
Come.
What was he doing up a ladder?
He tried to see girl.
What?
He tried to see in room to see girl. She make him crazy. Come.
I see.
With a little help from Manuel's less than perfect English, of course.
Hello, dear. Just going to,
Number 5. Preferential treatment, the hotel inspectors.
Oh, I see you have a wide experience of hotels.
Yes, in my professional activities, I am in constant contact with them.
Are you? Are you really?
Yes.
Hotel inspectors have come to town, and Basil is trying to ferret out which of his guests could be one of them. After a few cases of mistaken identity, he finally settles on the most obvious candidate and attempts to make good.
How absorbing for you.
Yes, well, as much
So much more interesting than being a hotel inspector.
What?
Unfortunately, one of the more rambunctious customers is complaining out loud, which leads Basil to use his signature charm to silence him.
You want to run the place?
Do what?
You want to come and run the hotel?
Eh?
Right, Mr. Hutchinson's taking over, Polly, so I'll have the omelette. I'm sure with his natural charm and wide experience, we know more problems. Come on, can't sit around all day. There's lots.
At one point, Mr. Fawlty even attempts to render the man unconscious.
Never mind, he's fainted. Oh,
Best part is that his sucking up to the assumed inspectors was all for naught.
no! You're not an inspector.
No?
Not on the side.
No?
Swear to God.
I tell you, I've nothing to do with it.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Man, I remember that episode. He was so worried about the inspector, bro.
Number 4. Car troubles, gourmet night.
Kurt is drunk.
After a usual series of mishaps at the Fawlty Towers Hotel, Basil is forced to dispense with his pre-planned high-end menu and can only offer his group of high-profile guests various variations of duck.
So, this is your new menu. Duck with orange, duck with cherries, duck surprise.
What's duck surprise?
That's duck without orange or cherries.
He decides to go looking for other food items, but his car stalls. And in one of the series' best-known scenes, Basil verbally attacks his car and proceeds to hit it repeatedly with a tree branch.
Right! That's it! You've tried it on just once too often! Right! Well, don't say I haven't warned you! I've laid it on the line to you time and time again!
It's Clovis at his finest, using his physical comedy to deliver a sound beating. Number 3, the dead guest, the kipper and the corpse.
Oh, I say, but he doesn't look quite the ticket.
Well, Major, don't say anything to anybody, but he's dead.
John Cleese has described Basil Fawlty as pretentious, paranoid, and constantly yearning for a higher social status. So, instead of doing what any normal person would after finding a corpse in his establishment, Basil does his best to hide the body and avoid the blame.
Here we are. Another car strike. Marvelous, isn't it? Taxpayers pay millions each year to get the money go on strike. It's called socialism.
But not without first accidentally serving the dead guy breakfast, and then trying to dispose of the body with as few of his guests noticing as possible.
He's dead!
It's all right, mister.
Shut up!
Oh, my God!
Slap her! Once she's hysterical, slap her!
Murder!
Slap her!
Murder!
Slap her! Oh, spiffing. Absolutely spiffing.
Number 2, imaginary chef, Waldorf salad.
Could you make me a Waldorf salad?
A what?
Waldorf salad.
Well, I think we're just out of Waldorf.
When a wealthy American guest comes to stay late in the evening and demands a Waldorf salad, Basil is distraught when he chooses to prepare the meal himself rather than pay his chef the demanded overtime.
Tell him if he doesn't get on the ball, you're gonna bust his ass.
When his scheme, which involves pretending there's a chef working in the kitchen, is discovered,
What are you making another Waldorf salad for? Don't give me some more. What do you think, Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton think? With
the American and other guests take him to task over his hotel's subpar service. This leads to one of Basil's most hysterical breakdowns and a short-lived walk-off.
us! I have to put up with from you people. You punts in here expecting to be waited on hand and foot while I'm trying to run a hotel here. Have you any idea of how much there is to do? Do you ever think of that? Of course not. You're too busy sticking your noses into every corner, poking about for things to complain about, aren't you?
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Hello! There's nobody there.
All right, we all know what the top pick is, but yeah, this one was...
Hello? Yes, I know she is.
Shut up, will you silly tart! Go away! My wife will hear us!
This is your wife.
Oh, what a terrible dream.
I wasn't expecting you.
Oh, weren't you? The Germans. Don't mention the war.
I see.
Number 1, Hitler Walk,
Yep.
the Germans.
Take care, Dan. If you can think of any more things for me to do, don't hesitate to call.
When his wife Sybil is in the hospital, Basil struggles to manage Fawlty Towers by himself. And between the hanging of decorative moose heads, the visiting Germans, the fires, and the frying pans, Basil ends up in the hospital with a concussion.
What is the point of a fire extinguisher? It sits there for months, and when you actually have a fire, when you actually need the bloody thing, it blows your head off. I mean, what is happening in this country? It's bloody Wilson.
An impossible man, he returns to the hotel, only to offend the group of Germans at every turn.
Entschuldigen Sie bitte, können Sie Deutsch sprechen?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
You speak German?
Oh, German! I'm sorry, I thought there was something wrong with you. Oh, of course!
Despite his pleas to the staff to avoid...
That's such a classic line. Such a classic line. Man, this show was so good.
any mention of the war, he consistently brings it up himself.
Old differences forgotten, and no need at all to mention the war.
Sorry.
Most shockingly, this results in an off-color imitation of Adolf Hitler's walk that drives the guests over the edge, and is reminiscent of the Ministry of Silly Walk sketch from Cleese's Monty Python days.
I'll do the funny walk.
Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite Fawlty Towers moment? For more hilarious top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
You have absolutely no sense of humor, do you?
This is not funny!
Who won the bloody war anyway?
Oh man, that was a really good top 10 list. Honestly, I think they covered everything that I would have thought of. I just have to add Manuel, bro. He played his character so well throughout the show. I think the show would be even more enjoyable the second time, because you would pick up the first time. You only pick up on surface levels things when you're watching something for the first time. When you get it the second time, you really can kind of see past some of the things that you just missed out on the first time, and it's a very enriching, enhancing experience. So definitely want to do that at some point. But yeah, guys, if you want to watch my full reactions to all of Fawlty Towers, all 12 episodes, I wish there were more. Unfortunately, there's only 12, 2 seasons. Consider joining the Patreon. First link in the description. But yeah, guys, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'm going to catch you all in the next one.